It was the summer of 2018, and my friend Jake and I were on a road trip to visit some old friends in the mountains. We'd been driving for hours, the scenery slowly changing from city lights to endless stretches of dark, winding highways. The sun had set about an hour ago, and the only company we had were the occasional headlights of other cars passing by. We were both exhausted from the long day, but I was determined to get to the cabin that night, even though it was getting late. Jake, on the other hand, was starting to drift off in the passenger seat, only half awake. The night was calm, the only sound being the hum of the tires on the asphalt. That was until I noticed something strange in the rearview mirror. A pair of headlights were following me closely, much too close for comfort. At first, I thought it was just another car trying to overtake us, but no matter how much I sped up or slowed down, the headlights stayed right on my tail. I tried to shake it off, but it was starting to feel uncomfortable. I glanced at Jake, who was now fully asleep, oblivious to the situation. I looked back in the mirror, and that's when I saw something that made my heart race. The car behind us wasn't just following, it was too close. The headlights were now directly behind my car, almost as if they were trying to intimidate me. I shifted nervously in my seat, gripping the wheel tighter. I decided to pull off to the side of the road and let the car pass. As I slowed down and pulled onto the shoulder, the car behind me did the same, mirroring my every move. My stomach dropped. There was no way this was a coincidence. I quickly glanced at the rearview mirror again, and to my horror, I saw a figure leaning out of the driver's side window of the car behind me, staring straight at me. The figure had a blank, emotionless face, their eyes wide and unblinking. I couldn't see much else, but the cold fear that hit me in that moment was undeniable. Panic set in. I slammed my foot back on the gas and sped off down the road, the headlights still glued to my back bumper. I could feel the sweat starting to form on my forehead, my hands trembling on the wheel. I glanced at Jake again, but he was still asleep, unaware of the growing tension in the air. I kept my eyes on the road, barely daring to look in the rearview mirror, afraid of what I might see. Suddenly, after what felt like an eternity, the car behind me swerved off the road and disappeared into the darkness. The headlights flickered for a moment before vanishing completely. I couldn't believe what had just happened. I kept driving, heart pounding in my chest, until I finally pulled into a gas station, my hands still shaking. Jake woke up, groggily asking what had happened, and I told him everything. I never saw that car again, but I'll never forget that eerie, unblinking face in my rearview mirror. To this day, I still wonder if I was being followed or if something far worse was out there in the dark, waiting.